Please welcome our host for tonight's induction ceremony, Bruce Rader.
They must have set this mic up for Heath. Hi, everybody. I absolutely love this venue. For those of our guests from out of town, this is our brand new venue here in Virginia Beach. It is, I don't think, quite a year old yet, and this is just a great place for our special occasion tonight. So, I'd like to begin by saying good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 48th Annual Virginia Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony. 8 of the finest athletes, coaches, and athletic administrators the Commonwealth has to offer will be presented with the greatest honor that its state can bestow: induction into the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. Now, this night is not ours, it is theirs. You may find that this event is a little different than others you may have attended in the past when it comes to sports dinners or jamborees or such. It has a little more of a formal air about it, and it should. Because the men and women inducted into the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame tonight worked hard most of their lives to be in a position to forever take their place among the greats of their state. Tonight we recognize not only their hard work and dedication, but their lives as champions and their contributions to the world of sports. The people that play the games, the people that coach the players, the people that have helped our state universities grow to national prominence in both men's and women's sports. As we move towards a half century of the Hall of Fame, we remake our vision, we modernize, and we become more relevant as we change with the modern times. At this crucial juncture in our history, anyone who cares about sports has to find a way to continue to support this endeavor of our Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. But as we modernize, make no mistake, the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame is about history. Having a state Hall of Fame is essential because after we are all long gone, generations that follow must be able to experience our sports accomplishments of the past and be reminded of the rich sports legacy that we have in our Commonwealth. History is always important to Virginians. It always has been, it always will be. And the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame is just about that, history. And tonight, another chapter is written. I would like to welcome our host for this evening, representing the city of Virginia Beach, former Green Bay Packers and New York Giants safety, the most valuable player of the 2011 UFL championship game when he led the Virginia Destroyers to the UFL championship, a former star at Virginia Tech, our councilman, Aaron Rouse.
I'd raise this up just a little bit. There we go. Good evening. I'm saying, Bruce, they didn't tell me I'll be having an introduction with so many UVA players tonight, so Heath and Marcus and you guys, bear with me. I'm honored to be here with you tonight for the second induction ceremony here in Virginia Beach. As an athlete and native of Virginia Beach, graduate of First Colonial High, graduate of Virginia Tech, that's right, go Patriots, go Rights. And now as your city councilman, I am proud to have Virginia Sports Hall of Fame located right here in our city. What an innovative concept. We that add the distinct character to town center of Virginia Beach and supports our coastal offerings of a year-round destination. Virginia creates some of the world-class athletes, and the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame tells their story. Now, every time I'm in Town Center, I see a lot of people enjoying the Walk the Hall tour, fascinating exhibits in Town Center's office and hotel lobbies, where they can see memorabilia and learn about the rich history of the sports of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Last year, inductees included two former Virginia Tech coaches, one that I'm most proud to be able to have coached by, legendary Frank Beamer, and baseball's Chuck Hartman, as well as Major League Baseball standout Mike Kadire, UVA running back and former NFL player Thomas Jones, Hampton University's the NBA standout Ricky Mahorn, Randolph-Macon basketball star Megan Silver-Schultz, the WNBA's Kara Lawson's, and sports writer Doug Doughty. This year, 8 more legendary sports figures are joining the ranks. Let's give them a round of applause. This is such a proud tradition and an outstanding way to recognize men and women who have achieved the highest levels in their sports. Congratulations to the members of the class of 2019 of the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. The City of Virginia Beach is pleased to be a sponsor of this event, and we look forward to being the co-sponsor for year on. We're proud to be associated with the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, and on behalf of the City Council and the citizens of Virginia Beach, we'd like to thank each of you for being here. Have a wonderful evening as we celebrate Virginia's fantastic sports legends. Thank you.
Wait till I show some video of those dropped interceptions next week. There weren't very many. I gotta give them credit. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome the Executive Director of the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, Mr. Will Driscoll.
I guess I have to do it too, huh? I want to sincerely thank everyone for joining us this evening for the 48th Annual Virginia Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony. As with all that we do, we could not do it without the support of our corporate partners. Our presenting sponsor for this weekend and our 2019 programming and event series Priority Automotive Group, the City of Virginia Beach, between the Convention and Visitors Bureau and Economic Development, and their support for integrating the Hall of Fame into the sports brand of Virginia Beach. Optima Health, White Claw, Riesbeck Contracting, WF McGann Corporation, Dominion Energy, Ad Impacts Marketing, the Virginia Beach Hotel Association, JPIX, and our media partner for Induction Weekend, Wavy TV. We are truly grateful for the partnerships we have with each and every one of you. Tonight's event is the culmination of a wonderful weekend for the Hall with 3 events from yesterday to today. But more importantly, it is a celebration of the accomplishments of 8 deserving individuals. Tonight, they join a select list of 334 individuals that can be called Virginia Sports Hall of Famers. This class, as many before them, truly is representative of the entire state. Buster O'Brien went to high school 0.6 miles from where you are currently sitting, while Heath Miller went to high school 427 miles from where you are currently sitting. Debbie White and Wendy Larry spent a combined 60-plus years at Old Dominion University. Tom Yeager oversaw a truly meaningful conference in Virginia collegiate sports. Jeff Burton found the need for speed growing up in South Boston. And Reuben Brown becomes the 5th EC Glass Hilltopper to be inducted into the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. No matter their hometown, college, or professional contributions, their connections to this state are unique, and that is why we honor them tonight. Before we proceed, I cannot go any further without acknowledging my predecessor, Eddie Webb. Eddie, somewhere? For the past 24 years, Eddie worked tirelessly to grow the Hall of Fame and continue its tradition of honoring athletic excellence. The Hall has undergone many changes in its 53 years, but one thing has stayed the same. Our commitment to our inductees and celebrating sports in Virginia has never wavered. This past February, Eddie stepped down as executive director and handed the reins of the Hall of Fame to me, a Norfolk native with a passion for sports. I am grateful for the opportunity to lead the Hall of Fame through its next phase, one that continues to champion our inductees while acting as a storyteller for Virginia sports. Our Walk the Hall tour through Town Center still allows sports fans to share in the moments and individuals that have crafted sports history in Virginia. Our programs and events are allowing sports fans now to interact with the Hall of Fame like never before. Events such as Champions of the Commonwealth, highlighting the first and most recent national championship teams from Virginia's colleges and universities, all the way from 1947 William & Mary men's tennis to 2018 JMU women's lacrosse and Virginia Wesleyan softball. 7-5 seventh inning stretch brought together two baseball legends from Virginia, Michael Kadire, a 2018 inductee, and David Wright, who will no doubt share that designation one day soon. We are also highlighting topical issues in Virginia sports. In May, through a partnership with the National Alliance on Mental Illness, we are hosting Changing the Game right here in this theater, a program that focuses on sports and mental health, a topic that has touched many corners of Virginia sports in recent years, and we're pleased to have Aaron Rouse participating in that program as well. It is my hope that we will be able to build upon these programs and events and offer more unique initiatives that engage the Virginia sports fan in a modern capacity. One thing Eddie always said is the state of Virginia takes a backseat to no one when it comes to producing great athletic figures. This year's class confirms that statement, as do the previous 326 inductees, some of whom have joined us here tonight. I would like to take a couple of minutes to recognize them before we get on with the 2019 induction. This gentleman defines what it means to be a competitor. Thought to be too small for middle linebacker in the NFL, he helped the San Francisco 49ers win 3 consecutive NFC titles. Named first team All-NFL Special Teams in 1971, he enjoyed an 18-year career as player and coach. Ladies and gentlemen, Ed Beard. A football and baseball standout for the Spiders, although somebody told me to say VCU, of the University of Richmond. He was drafted by the LA Chargers in 1960, but chose a career as a player and coach in the New York Yankee organization. For over 20 years, he directed the athletic program at the University of Richmond, which has produced over 20 postseason appearances. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Boone. He has covered NASCAR for over 40 years and is an 8-time Virginia Press Association Awards winner. Inducted into the International Motorsports Hall of Fame, 2012 inductee Al Pierce. He led Old Dominion University athletics to 28 national championships and a reclassification to Division I in his 40-year career as Director of Athletics. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Jim Jarrett. The next lady won a few of those national championships. 28 of her 30 field hockey teams at ODU went to the NCAA tournament. Her 9 national championships rank her #1 in NCAA field hockey history. Ladies and gentlemen, Beth Anders. This former All-American receiver at the University of Richmond led the Spiders to their first ever Tangerine Bowl victory. He was a first-round draft choice of the San Diego Chargers. He completed an 8-year NFL career playing with the Chargers, the Cardinals, and the New York Giants. His father, James, was inducted in 1983, making them the first father-son pair to be honored. Ladies and gentlemen, Walker Gillette. For over 25 years, he led Virginia Union University to 3 NCAA titles, 8 regional championships, 8 trips to the Elite Eight, 7 Final Four appearances, and 13 CIAA titles. With an overall record of 713 and 194, he is the winningest collegiate basketball coach in Virginia history. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Robbins. This former South Carolina Gamecock enjoyed an all-ACC football career in addition to being recognized as one of the best all-around track stars in conference history. He enjoyed a 5-year career with the NFL Pittsburgh Steelers as a wide receiver and tight end and has been inducted into the South Carolina State Sports Hall of Fame as well as his alma mater's Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Wilburn. For over 40 years, he covered every sport the state of Virginia had to offer. Winner of multiple Virginia Press Association Writing Awards, class of 2003, Jerry Lindquist. The second winningest coach in Virginia men's collegiate basketball history, he guided Randolph-Macon and then Old Dominion University to over 500 victories. From the class of 1993, Paul Webb. And finally, the first All-American athlete from Norfolk State University. He became the winningest coach in CIAA history while being named Coach of the Year a record 15 times. Ladies and gentlemen, Marty Miller. I sincerely thank you all for attending tonight. I know the inductees are thrilled, and without further ado, I will get out of your way so we can get on to their speeches.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, will you please direct your attention to the video screen as we induct our first member into the 2019 Virginia Sports Hall of Fame.
Reuben Brown began his ascent to football stardom as an offensive lineman at E.C. Glass High School in Lynchburg. The 1989 USA Today High School All-American would go on to accept a scholarship to play for the University of Pittsburgh, where he became a dominant force for the Panthers. Brown would be named first-team All-Big East 3 times, and in 1995, the Buffalo Bills selected Brown with the 14th overall pick in the first round of the NFL Draft. He would start all 16 games as a rookie for the Bills, and from 1996 to 2003 was selected to 8 consecutive Pro Bowls. Over a 13-year career with Buffalo and the Chicago Bears, Brown was a 9-time Pro Bowl selection, a 4-time second-team All-Pro, and would start all 181 games he appeared in. In 2006, he helped anchor the offensive line for the NFC champion Bears, starting all 19 regular season and playoff games at left guard. During his time in Buffalo, Brown was recognized 3 times as the Bills recipient for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. He announced his retirement from football in 2009, and that same year was named to the Buffalo Bills 50th anniversary team.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome for induction into the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, Reuben Brown.
How much time do I have?
Oh, I don't know, hour and a half.
Oh, no. I won't do that to you. I would not subject you guys to talking about myself. A lot of my teammates know I would love to talk about myself at this particular time, but it's all about Virginia and Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, and I would like to say thank you guys. This is a very humbling experience, a humbling honor for me as a person, but this gives me an opportunity to talk about my hometown and the people that were important in getting me to this point so that you could honor me, all right? I grew up
in Piney River, Virginia, Route 2, Box 65, Arrington, Virginia. That's Lowesville, Temperance area. If anybody knows, it's on the border of Amherst County and Nelson County. And that is the place where my brother and I played football almost every day. And in that place, there were thousands of football players, baseball players, track stars, men, women that could do it all. And oddly enough, the two least likely guys in that group are in the Hall of Fame now. You know, I have cousins that had talent that could easily surpass ours and be standing up here and accepting this award, but they were busy doing other things. And being here just makes me think about all of that time that I grew up in Piney River playing football every day with my brother and my cousins. And then also it makes me think about all of the coaches, the mentors, the teachers, the counselors, all the people that saw something in myself and my brother and decided to encourage us and push us along the way. And no one more important than my coach, Bo Henson, and his staff. And when I say Bo Henson and his staff, it was a family of guys that really took a group of misguided young men and pointed them in the right direction, regardless if we wanted to sometimes or not. But they could see that there was something in us. And not only whether it was something in us, I'm amazed today because I have my own kids, that they took the time from their own families to invest time in myself and my brother and then the rest of the guys that were in our community. We were lucky enough in Lynchburg to reward Coach Bo Henson and his staff with a 1988 state championship, which I dearly hold as one of the greatest moments of my life. And if you go to Lynchburg, everyone around there probably say the same thing. It was a really good year that year. We had an awesome time chasing that championship and developing the bonds and the memories that still last today. And it really makes me weep to think of all the energy that those families, those coaches, the hours that they put in to help us squeak out one little championship in that little town. So Virginia State Sports Football Hall of Fame, thank you. Sports Hall of Fame, I'm sorry. Thank you. This really means a lot to myself, my town, my family, my community, and it is really, really a truly great honor. Thank you, guys.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please again take a look at the video board.
A native of South Boston, Virginia's Jeff Burton has never served as mayor of his hometown. However, that did not stop him from earning that nickname on NASCAR's highest circuit. Burton got his start go-kart racing on rural tracks in Virginia, and in 1988 made his NASCAR Busch Series debut driving the '69 car owned by his father, John. In 1993, Burton made his Winston Cup Series debut in New Hampshire, and in 1994 was named NASCAR Winston Cup Rookie of the Year. While driving for the Roush Racing Team in 1997, he registered his first Cup Series win in the Interstate Batteries 500 at the Texas Motor Speedway. From 1997 to the year 2000, Burton never finished lower than 5th in points for a season, and in 2000 registered 4 victories and finished 3rd overall in points. It was his best career finish. Over 22 seasons in NASCAR, Burton would start 695 races, register 254 top 10 finishes, and visit Victory Lane 21 times. Over the course of his career, he was known as one of the most respected drivers for his clean racing and his advocacy for driver safety. In 2013, Burton joined NBC Sports as a NASCAR analyst and still serves in that role today.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome for induction into the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, the mayor, Jeff Burton.
So I didn't know that. I grew up in South Boston, Virginia. We were the Halifax County Comets. The highlight of my high school athletic career was we beat the EC Glass Hilltoppers in soccer. And we were the small town, and they were the damn city, and we took them down. I didn't know. I didn't know. If I'd have known that, I wouldn't have talked to you last night. I didn't. This truly is an honor. It's to be recognized for doing something that I love doing is I can't put into words how much it means. It means a great deal to be from the Commonwealth of Virginia. I almost said state of Virginia. I can't say that, right? And one thing about Virginia is it is a racing state. We're here tonight talking about the sports in Virginia, but if you think about the history of NASCAR, it's this place is huge, and we have two of the best racetracks in all of NASCAR in Martinsville and in Richmond. And those two racetracks have a huge role in the past of NASCAR and in the future. I hope the residents of Virginia realize how important those tracks are. They are paramount to the success of NASCAR, and it means a lot to this state. It means a tremendous amount financially. It means a tremendous amount just from the pride of the state. So please support those racetracks and all the little short tracks around Virginia because they truly are the best. You mentioned your coaches, and I want to take a minute to without people supporting us, there's no way we could do this. My mother's here tonight. My mother taught me compassion. She taught me simply do unto others as you've had done unto you. That's what I think about with my mom. My father can't be here tonight, and he taught me competition. He taught me do whatever it takes, work whatever it takes. He's 81 years old, plays tennis almost every day, and he doesn't just play tennis, he practices and then he plays. And that's what I grew up watching, and that was a huge influence on me. My in-laws are here tonight. You have to understand, I was 15, and their oldest of 4 daughters, just for that they need a round of applause. They had 4 daughters. So I was 15, she was 14. I not only was, we were dating, I was breaking them into having daughters that dated boys. And for that, I deserve a trophy. But they've been a huge part of my life. They supported me so much. And you just can't do it without that family support because you're gone all the time. You miss birthday parties, you miss Christmas, you miss stuff. And they have to support you, and if they don't support you, you can't do it. There's just no way. I had a weird career. We talk about, winning 20-something races, but, I started almost 700, so I lost a lot. That's just the truth. My career was started in a really weird way. My first race, my first stock car start, I got because there was a street stock car. And street stock at a local level, it's here, right? And late models are here. So it was the lowest level in street stocks. And the guy that was driving the car the week before, he went into victory lane and knocked the guy out that won the race. He was pissed off about something happening in the race. Believe it or not, they don't like it if you knock the guy out that won the race in victory lane. So I got the phone call to come drive this car, and I won. My first night I won. So I think I'm Richard Damn Petty, right? Like I won. I mean, I'm the man, right? So, a couple weeks later, I drove it again and I wrecked. And quickly I learned. But my career was a lot like that. I progressed into the Xfinity Series. In 5 years, I had 4 different rides. Not because everybody wanted me, because 4 of those people wanted to fire me. And I ended up working for other people. And that's just the truth. But in none of those situations did I find myself down. I mean, I was down temporarily, but didn't let it keep me down. And the person that I learned more than anyone else about professional life and about how to be a professional, Jack Roush hired me to drive his race car. And that was a turning point in my life because not only did he give me fast race cars, but he let me be there. He let me do it. He taught me the responsibility of making decisions and having to stand by them. And he made me much more than a better race car driver. He made me a better man. And that guy, I have so much respect for him. Quick story about him. We built this race team from scratch. It was nothing. No race cars, no nothing. We built it from scratch. And 4th race of the year, we're 2nd in points. Brand new race team. Actually came to Richmond and led a lot of that race, had a chance to win, had a bad pit stop late in the race, didn't win it. So we go to Atlanta, the 4th race of the year, and we don't qualify for the race. Like, we don't make the race. We don't go fast enough in qualifying. They don't even let us race. Now, here's a sponsor that spent millions and millions and millions of dollars to sponsor our race car. And Jack Roush had let me and Buddy Parrott do it the way we wanted to do it. We built that team from nothing, the way we wanted to. He let us do it the way we wanted. And on that day, he walked up to me and he put his hands on my shoulder and he said, "I'm sorry I have not delivered for you what you needed to be successful." And I learned right there what leadership was about. And right then and there, I'll go to war for that man because that was just the kind of guy he was. But he was such a huge role. And those people like that touch your lives. It's really not about you. It's about all those people. And having a chance to remember those people and take the time to say thank you means a great deal. It really, truly is an honor to be here. I do want to say something else, too, that I think is vital. Without fans, our sports they're nothing. We have to have the support of our fans. And for people that came out yesterday to get an autograph, to say hi, I hear needed security for Heath this morning. I hear the Steeler Nation came out. But that passion is what that's what it's all about. There's almost nothing else that people can get excited about. It's okay to pull against the Pittsburgh Steelers and pull for someone else. The fans are the heartbeat of what we do in professional sports, collegiate sports. They're so vital. NASCAR, we're blessed to have them. But without fans, we just don't have a sport. But thank you, guys. It's a real honor to be here. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great job, brother. Great job.
And now let's meet our next inductee.
As college basketball coaches go, Wendy Larry's legacy in Virginia is unmatched. The Bloomingdale, New Jersey native and Old Dominion University alum, she took over the Lady Monarchs in 1987 and over the next quarter of a century led ODU to an unprecedented run of success. She would win 559 games total as head coach of the Lady Monarchs, and starting in 1992, ODU would win 17 consecutive Colonial Athletic Association championships, the longest such stretch in NCAA history. 20 times, Larry's ODU teams would participate in the NCAA tournament, advancing to the Final Four and championship game in 1997. In total, Larry registered 608 wins over 28 seasons and was named Coach of the Year in 3 different leagues, including 8 times in the CAA. 9 of Wendy's former players would go on to play professionally in the WNBA, including Virginia Sports Hall of Fame inductee Ticha Penicharo. Active in the Hampton Roads community with organizations such as Habitat for Humanity, and Race for the Cure in Hampton Roads, she was named the Hampton Roads Professional Woman of the Year in 2000.
And the big question, will she have a towel draped over her shoulder tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, for induction into the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, the coach, Wendy Larry.
My girl. There go our baby.
Good evening, everyone. I was told that we had about 8 to 10 minutes to address you this evening. I really do hope the odds are in your favor, because tip time for the second game is 8:49, and for those of you that don't already know, it is the NCAA Final Four weekend. It's interesting we have an event like this on It's okay. And kind of like Trump's chief of staff, I promise not to keep you too long. I believe that today is a celebration for a lot of us. In my case, a celebration of tradition that lived within the Lady Monarch basketball program for many, many years. Thank you. Tradition is a wonderful gift. It's made up of everyone that was part of it, that believed in it, and made a commitment to continue it. I would personally like to thank Eddie and Will and the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame Committee for believing that my body of work was worthy of this prestigious honor. And to the presenting sponsor, Dennis, Priority Auto Group, and my Virginia Beach City, and all the additional sponsors and individuals here this evening that really have worked tirelessly to make this weekend's events possible. Thank you very much. I am truly humbled to have my name added to the list of all the former Sports Hall of Fame inductees, some of which are here this evening with us, and of course, Graham over here, and be in the company of my accomplished classmates. My personal congratulations to Ruben, to Jeff, to Heath, to Mark's family, and to Buster. A special acknowledgement to my professional colleagues and my personal friends, Debbie and Tom. Kind of a family reunion of sorts, isn't it? We are here tonight for lots of different reasons. Some have to do with us, and some have to do with the individuals that had an incredible impact on us throughout our lives. In my world, it started with my grandparents, and I had 4 wonderful ones, and they taught me right from wrong, how to say please and thank you, and they loved me unconditionally. And they also made me believe that I could be anything that I wanted to be as a little girl. My father, Hugh, a former Marine residing in Arlington National Cemetery, set the example of routine and discipline. He did teach me how to use a screwdriver and make a pretty good one, too. I know that my dad is really proud tonight. My mother, my current housemate, up on the hill, hi, Virginia, was a school teacher and has always been my biggest cheerleader, offering both encouragement and consolation appropriately. However, she did ask me the other day what March Madness was all about. I love you very much, Virginia, and I'm so glad you're here with me to share this honor tonight. My sisters Donna and Mary Ellen are in the house, and their families have been supporters of my career choice and the teams that I've coached. And like Jeff mentioned, they've been forgiving and tolerant of my absence from lots of family events. I'm appreciative of their efforts to drive down from New Jersey and celebrate with me this evening. My high school coach, Marge Giles, has shared her wisdom and her guidance with me for over 45 years. It's very important that I acknowledge my 3 athletic directors: Don Forsyth from Virginia Wesleyan College, Cedric Dempsey from the University of Arizona, and especially Dr. Jim Jarrett of Old Dominion University. In 1987, Jim took a chance on me, and more importantly, for your vision, Jim, and your commitment to women's basketball and women's athletics at Old Dominion. He was a true trendsetter in athletic equity. I've had many coaching mentors: Coach Purnell, Coach Olson, Coach Williams, Coach Webb, Coach Sharp, Coach Anders, and the brilliant coaching mind of Mary Ann Stanley, another Hall of Famer. Most of these coaches believed that winning was always really, really, really important, but having the edge by preparing daily was critical. There is a reason they call it chasing your dreams and not walking after them. I've had the privilege of teaching the game I love for well over 30 years. If you want to go on a long trip, go by yourself. But if you want to go on a long, successful trip, go with others. Most successful head coaches have had a significant number of loyal, dedicated, trustworthy, smarter, prettier, determined assistant coaches. I am no exception. Some of them are here tonight with me, and I count those people as significant players in the continuity and success of the Lady Monarch basketball program. We all know it takes a village to give a program life. It's the office assistants like Annette, the bus drivers like Bob, the managers, and there are several here tonight. I know Leslie's here, I know Mud's here, I know Throcky's here. The academic advisors, the trainers, I know Terry's here, the Dobos, strength trainers, SIDs, assistant athletic directors, I think Mickey Flowers-Bale is in the house, who work behind the scenes and who have spent countless hours for the good of the cause and were a vital part of our entire successful operation. It was the radio announcers, the beat writers, the facility directors, the ushers, and the Sunday stars that made it very, very special. To the hundreds of dedicated women that wore the Lady Monarch uniform and were committed to our tradition of excellence, I will always be in your debt. Superstars are superstars, and we certainly had our fair share, but I'm also very, very proud of you, the role player, the team leader, the team player that developed your skills over the course of your career and made all the difference in our teams. Individuals make plays, teams win championships. A heartfelt thanks to our wonderful fans, particularly the Lady Monarch Pride and the Lady Monarch Golf Committee for all their tremendous fundraising efforts. Judy and Jerry specifically, I know, are in the house. Commissioner McGlade and the Atlantic 10 Conference, thank you for allowing me to be a small part of your team and for teaching this old dog new tricks. Winning is fun, sure, but winning is not the point. Wanting to win is the point. Preparing to win is the point. Not giving up is the point. Never being satisfied with what you have done is the point. The game really, truly is never over. It does not end when you walk off the court. The secret of the game is doing your best to persist and endure. And I'm not just talking about the game. I'm talking about life. Life is a game. Success comes much easier when others have faith in your performance. To my very, very, very special friends, the family I have chosen with my heart, some of you serve, some of you teach, some of you lead, some of you are champions, and some of you are great thinkers. And some of you are all of the above. Most of all, you are here with me this evening. I'm indebted to you for loving me, for believing in me, and for being my friend. I'm so grateful for the thrilling wins and the unfortunate, heartfelt losses. But most importantly, what I cherish the most are the relationships that have been forged, the people that I worked with every day in my coaching career, and my coaching colleagues that were opponents and later became my good friends. And certainly the players that I coached over all these years. I do dedicate this award to each and every one of you. God bless you, and thank you again for this incredible honor.
And now we introduce our next inductee.
Inspired by Greg Louganis' performance at the 1984 Summer Olympics, Stafford High School's Mark Lindsay took up diving at the age of 16. After accepting a scholarship to Indiana University, he would go down as one of the most decorated divers in Big Ten history, winning 5 Big Ten titles and back-to-back NCAA titles in the 1-meter springboard competition in 1989 and in 1990. Both seasons ended with Lindsay being named NCAA Diver of the Year. In 1991 and 92, he was named the U.S. Diver of the Year, becoming the first diver in the sport to eclipse the 100-point mark with a single dive. His success culminated with a gold medal triumph in the 3-meter springboard at the 1992 Summer Olympics in Barcelona. After briefly retiring from the sport, he would return in 1995 and in 1996, adding to his medal collection with a bronze medal at the 1996 Summer Olympics in Atlanta. In total, Lindsay would claim the top spot in 18 international competitions at the 1-meter and 3-meter springboard levels. He was inducted into the International Swimming Hall of Fame in 2003. Lindsay is being honored posthumously, having passed away in 2012.
Ladies and gentlemen, accepting the award for the late Mark Lindsay, his mom, Ellie Lindsay.
Upside down. What an honor for my son, Mark Lindsay, to be inducted into the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame 2019. Mark was a typical boy. He played soccer, he played basketball, broke a leg in his pee-wee football. He swam for the YMCA Stingrays and then the Quantico Devil Dolphins swim clubs. You might have found him climbing up a tree or sneaking into the neighborhood pool to jump off the roof into the deep end. In middle school, he started wrestling. In wrestling, he was known as Mr. Takedown. But in his junior year of high school, at age 16, he decided he wanted to go into a new sports challenge, 1 and 3 meter diving, after watching Greg Louganis in the Olympics. And by the way, they took away my speech. It's like I'm saying the same thing they are. His father was not very happy with him changing sports and risking potential wrestling scholarships. So in defiance, Mark left home for about 3 months because he was very committed to this new challenge. But he eventually talked his father into letting him pursue this new sport. But his father really hoped that it would be short-lived. His new sport took off, and suddenly he was the new kid in the pool. While most divers start at an early age, Mark was a latecomer and a natural. He began his career at Indiana University in 1986 under Coach Hobie Billingsley, sight unseen, but for an assistant coach who happened to be where Mark was diving in Northern Virginia in practice. Hobie is in his 90s today. Mark won 2 NCAA championships in 1989 and 1990 and was named NCAA Diver of the Year for both seasons and added 5 big titles to those awards. He made the U.S. national team in 1989 at age 21, graduated from Indiana University, and then began diving for Dick Kimball in Michigan. In 1991 and 92, he was recognized as Phillips 66 Diver of the Year. And in 1992 in Barcelona, Spain, on the 3 meter springboard, he captured a gold medal by 31 points over China and Russia. After briefly retiring, he returned to the sport in late 1995 and qualified for the 96 Olympics in Atlanta on the 3 meter springboard. And despite an injured shoulder and coming down with the flu, he won a bronze medal. He was very proud of this bronze medal. The 2 Chinese divers who took first and second stated that in order to beat Mark Lindsay, we had to study his tapes. Mark won 18 international competitions on the 1 and 3 meter springboards. On the 1 meter springboard in 1991, he won the World Aquatic Championship in Perth, Australia. In 1991, he also won the Pan American Games in Havana, Cuba. At this meet, the Cuban diver believed he was going to win, but it was Mark's degree of difficulty that put him on top. He was the first American diver to perform a forward 4 1/2 somersault tuck in competition, and the first diver to score over 100 points in competition on the reverse 3 1/2 somersault tuck for over 102 points. His true forte was his continuous degree of difficulty that forced his competitors to up their diving skills. Mark coached men and women diving at IU, and he loved teaching young children at diving clinics. For 2 years prior to Mark's death in 2012, he served as diving coach for the men's and women's diving team at East Carolina University. He was the last American male to win an Olympic gold in the 3 meter diving in 2012. He died at the age of 43 in Greenville, North Carolina. Again, it is quite an honor for Mark to be included with the current and past inductees, and I thank everyone who voted for him. But I have another little story. Mark had an older brother, 1.5 years older than him, and they were playing sports at someone's yard, and Mark came home mad, and I said, "What are you going out the door with a bat for?" And he said, "They're not going to mess with me anymore." But he didn't have to use the bat. They knew he'd do it. Thank you.
And now, as we get security in place, please meet our next inductee.
Heath Miller started quarterback for Honaker High School in the early 2000s. However, it was a position change at the University of Virginia that propelled him to greatness. Making the switch to tight end, the 2002 first-team freshman All-American would go on to be selected first-team All-ACC in 2003 and 2004, as well as a unanimous first-team All-American and John Mackey Award winner as the nation's best tight end in 2004. The Pittsburgh Steelers selected Miller with the 30th overall pick in the first round of the 2005 NFL Draft. His impact was immediate as he quickly assumed the role of starting tight end for the Steelers and was a key contributor to the franchise's 5th Super Bowl championship that season. Miller would continue to be a vital component to the Steelers' offense over the course of an 11-year career, which included a second Super Bowl championship in 2008 and 2 Pro Bowl selections in 2009 and 2012. He caught 592 passes, including 45 touchdowns over the course of his career, and is one of only 12 tight ends in NFL history to eclipse the 6,000 receiving yard mark.
Please welcome for induction into the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, Heath Miller.
Good evening. I'm not as good as these guys at speaking, so I got some notes here. We'll see how this goes. But I'm excited and extremely grateful to be here tonight. I want to thank the members of the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame Selection Committee for having us here this evening. This is a great honor. For me, it's a great honor because of the many Virginia sports legends that have received this honor before me. Members of the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame that have represented our state across the globe and gave athletes like myself someone to look up to and aspire to be. This is a great honor for me because I get to join the Hall of Fame with these fellow inductees: a 9-time Pro Bowler, a NASCAR icon, an ODU legend, a gold medalist. That's the whole world. That's not just the state of Virginia. That's the best in the world. A revolutionary passing quarterback that was well before his time, a pioneer in the sports journalism world, and Mr. Yeager, 31 years as commissioner of the CAA. Congratulations to all of you. You are a big reason that this is an honor for me to be here tonight, and I'm humbled and excited to share the stage with you. I would be greatly misguided to let everyone think that I'm here tonight by my own accord. There have been countless people that have influenced and guided me along the path to be here this evening. I want to thank my wife, Katie. She's unable to be here today. But through her unwavering love, dedication, and sacrifice, she gave me the opportunity to be the best that I could be. And during that time, she also gave me the greatest gift of all, which is our 4 beautiful kids. My parents, Earl and Denise, are here tonight. Thank you for your love and support throughout my life. Coming from a small town in Southwest Virginia, you guys never told me my dreams were too big. You supported me through the ups and downs, and from the very beginning of my athletic career to the very end, you were there. And I want you guys to know how grateful I am for that. My sister Amanda is also here tonight. Thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting me always throughout my life. And as I think back on my football career specifically, I'd like to mention a few people that stand out in my mind. My high school football coach, Doug Hubbard, who constantly reminded me that even though I was from a small high school, that I belonged at the University of Virginia. Once I came to Virginia, Coach Al Groh, he moved me from quarterback to tight end at UVA, which brings up someone else I could thank who's actually here tonight, Marcus Hagans. Marcus and I were quarterbacks together, and he was much better than me. So thank you, Marcus, for moving me to another position. But back to Coach Groh. He taught me so much about football and life. I grew up a lot under Coach Groh, and when I left UVA, I was completely prepared to have a successful NFL career, and that's a huge credit to Coach Groh. Andy Heck, an irreplaceable coach and mentor in my life. Fortunately for me, in 2001, Coach Heck joined the UVA coaching staff as a graduate assistant. He had just finished a 10-year NFL career as an offensive tackle, teammate of Ruben here for a year or two, I think. And he wanted to get into coaching, so he called Coach Groh up. Coach Groh offered him a graduate assistant job. And that's kind of unique in college because usually the tight ends coach is the special teams coach or someone who's just getting into coaching. So I was fortunate that he came into my life at that time because he was able to teach an old quarterback everything he knew about blocking, which helped me. James Daniel was my position coach with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Coach Daniel and I were a perfect match. His loyalty and no-nonsense approach to the game pushed me to be my very best. These are just a few of the many people who impacted my career. I want to thank my extended family, all of my coaches and teammates throughout my childhood and through Honecker High School, all of my coaches and teammates at UVA, including the late George Welsh, who offered me a scholarship to play there. Jerry Capone's also here tonight. Picture of UVA football right there. He came to support me, and I think that's just a great representation of the UVA family. The late Dan Rooney and the rest of the Rooney family, the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, coaches and teammates, Cole Haley, Hayden Thompson. And I can't reiterate enough that this wouldn't be possible without the love and support of everyone along the way who helped me to shape me into the person and player that got me here tonight. Thank you guys very much.
Nice and smooth.
And now our next inductee.
William Buster O'Brien starred as a quarterback for Princess Anne High School in the 1960s, and his talent and success led to a scholarship offer from the University of Notre Dame. After transferring to the University of Richmond, O'Brien went on to achieve legendary status in Spider athletics history. An all-conference and all-state performer at Richmond from 1966 to 1968, O'Brien left the Spiders program as the record holder in all passing categories. The 1968 Southern Conference Player of the Year may have saved his best game at Richmond for his last. The 1968 Tangerine Bowl, a 49-42 win over Ohio University. He completed 39 of 58 passes for 447 yards and 4 touchdowns, sharing co-MVP honors with Virginia Sports Hall of Fame inductee Walker Gillette. In addition to his Virginia Sports Hall of Fame induction, O'Brien is a member of the University of Richmond Hall of Fame, the Virginia High School League Hall of Fame, and the Citrus Bowl Hall of Fame. From 1980 to 1985, he served the Commonwealth as a delegate in the General Assembly and is currently the Chief Judge in the city of Virginia Beach.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome for induction into the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. Here comes the judge, Buster O'Brien.
Bruce, I don't want to embarrass you, so I'm just going to leave this down. I'll bend over. How about that? What a night. What a night to be here and to be with my colleagues who are other members of the class of 2019. But I want to warn them of something. It is not good form to try to upstage a judge with a microphone, okay? Y'all still got to leave town. You know? And it could be dangerous getting out. I'm telling you that right now. I have all kinds of resources. So. But I want to thank the members of the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame for this wonderful honor. It's probably the epitome of an award that a person from Virginia can get. But I was brought back down to reality right after I found out I was going to be a nominee and an inductee in the Hall of Fame. My wife's nephew, who's really too smart for his own good, called her and said, you know, Buster's got the only black and white photo in the entire thing that's coming out. Is there a reason for that? He was chastised severely. He's a lawyer too, okay? But it's a real pleasure. And one of the great things about this is you get to get back a number of old friends who had a big role in your life. This is going to be hard to believe. Wendy believes it because she knows we've talked about it. But there's a fellow here that I first met in the 6th grade at Aragon Elementary School. And we've been great friends and ever since. Lee Scarborough. He's been a mentor and a role model for me for 60 years. So it's a wonderful thing. I've got teammates that are here and friends. It's amazing. A lot of the guys that were introduced to you early in the evening are personal friends of mine that I've known for a long time and had great relationships with. But 2 of my Spider teammates are here. Mike Bragg, who was a former punter for the Washington Redskins and was my roommate at the University of Richmond. He was elected to the all-time Redskin team, but he's here tonight to celebrate with us. And Walker Gillette, who was my receiver. And I want to tell you, Walker's my favorite college receiver of all times. Walker, if it wasn't for you and your hard work and your abilities, I probably wouldn't be standing here. So thank you. We also have the members of the Irish Mafia who are here, my family. And I'd like to ask all of them to stand for just a second, would my family and extended family, if you all will please stand. And I hope that you all are as proud of me tonight as I am of you, so thank you for being here. But one special person, I'd like to have my wife stand. You can tell by looking at me, but not by looking at her. We had our 50th anniversary last month. So she said she would take care of me and love me through thick and thin, through good and bad, rich or poor, sickness and health. And she's lived every day of her life doing that. So I want to thank you for that. You know, they say things come around in circles in people's lives, and they do. I started my athletic career 0.6 of a mile from where we stand tonight on the fields in Aragona Village that had no scoreboard, no lights, no stands, and very little grass. And we played there and learned lessons from the people who taught us. I left there and went to Kempsville Junior High School, which is probably 1.5 miles in the other direction, and played there with a group of guys that we would go on 3 years later to become the Eastern District champions. And we were undefeated, and I was lucky enough to have 15 touchdown passes in 4 games. And those things were just unheard of back then because I had people who were coaching me that let me do things. And let me do the things it took to be here today. And then went to Prince Anne High School. Good. And what people don't realize today is that we used to draw 8,000 and 10,000, 12,000 people a game at Princess Anne. They would fill up the parking lot, and they would park all the way down to Aragona Village and all the way up to Thalia every Friday night. All you had was a bicycle, 2 friends, and a high school football game, and that was about it back then. But we went on to have great seasons and great careers. But, you know, you never think in times like that you're going to go have the good fortune to be recognized. I want to thank all of you all for being here. I want to thank the members of the board and the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, especially two people. Dennis Elmer, who you all know is very instrumental in the Hall of Fame. He's a very good friend. He's a very successful businessman, and also a philanthropist in our town. So Dennis, I know you're not here, but I hope somebody tells you. On behalf of the people of Virginia Beach and the Tidewater area, I want to thank you for all that you do, and thank you for being my friend. And my daughter, Erin, who's a bulldog. She got it in her teeth that her daddy was going to be in the Hall of Fame, and she worked tirelessly to do that, so I thank that. So once again, thank you all for being here. It is a great, great tribute and an honor that I'll never forget. It's a highlight of my life, so thank you very much.
Yes, she did. And now, if you would, again, bring your attention to the video screen, we would like to introduce our next inductee and one of my favorite people in the world.
Lexington, Virginia's Debbie White gained notoriety as the first full-time female sports writer in Virginia history, while serving on the staff of the Daily Press in the mid-1970s. After serving as sports information director at Siena College in New York from 1977 to 1979, one of only 3 female SIDs in the country, Debbie returned to Virginia and began a long and distinguished career with Old Dominion University Athletics. Beginning as an assistant sports information director in 1979, White was promoted to sports information director the following year and played a large role in the national exposure of the university's basketball programs that they received in the early 1980s. Over the next 3+ decades, White would serve Old Dominion Athletics in numerous capacities, eventually being named Senior Associate Athletic Director for External Relations. In addition to her roles with Old Dominion, White served on numerous NCAA committees, the Naismith Hall of Fame, and the U.S. Olympic Committee. Her accomplishments have led to inductions into the COSIDA Hall of Fame as well as the Hampton Roads Sports Hall of Fame. Away from sports, Debbie is a past president of the Susan G. Komen for the Cure Tidewater region.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome for induction into the 2019 Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, Debbie White. Hi, Debbie.
Thank you, Bruce, and for those nice words, too. And a huge thank you to the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame Honors Court, Eddie Webb, Will Driscoll, and congratulations to all my fellow inductees. It's extremely humbling for me to be inducted today with these outstanding athletes, coaches, and administrators, but even more special to be enshrined with my good friend of over 30 years, Wendy Larry, who was my road roommate back in the early days at ODU, a great coach and a mentor who put the Lady Monarchs back on the map in the 1990s. And I'm also happy to share this day with Tom Yeager, the longtime commissioner of the Colonial Athletic Association, with whom we respected and enjoyed many happy celebrations with at ODU during our long history in the league. I wanted to be an athlete in the very worst way. As the daughter of a football coach and the older sibling to an athletically talented brother, I wanted to compete and win in anything just once. While in elementary school in West Virginia, my father was then coaching high school football, and the players used to come over to our house and watch 16mm film, for those of you who remember that, in preparation for their upcoming games. I would watch that projector go back and forth, dissecting plays, and I was just fascinated. When I reached high school in Lexington, Virginia, sports were still not offered for girls, So I drew upon my knowledge and love of sports and wrote about sports for my high school paper. It was enough to whet my appetite, and off to journalism school I went at West Virginia University. Announcing I wanted to be a sports writer in the 1970s was often met with a sarcastic grin or the comment, "Well, that's nice, dear." The late Charlie Karmosky, however, welcomed me to the staff of the Daily Press and his menagerie of 22 male sports writers in the summer of 1974, just 2 weeks after I graduated from college. As the only female in the bunch, it became apparent that Mr. Karmosky had told the other reporters, "You better clean up your language." Several weeks after I arrived, somebody slipped up, and it was as if the air in the room suddenly returned. And I said, "You know, I've heard these words before. In fact, I use a couple of them." I was assigned the small high schools in Virginia who welcomed reporters to games because they didn't see us very often. Lack of press facilities, especially for football, was often an obstacle in providing coverage, and I experienced many interesting viewing perches, once on top of a school bus, I kid you not, and the other on the back of a pickup truck, where I was also handed the portable microphone and said, "Do you mind delivering the play-by-play too?" Then there was the issue of getting the story to the paper, which required a long extension cord, a telecopier, which is the precursor to the fax, for those of you who remember, my trusty portable Royal typewriter, and a lot of quarters, because I had to insert them in the gas station payphones to get the story back to the Daily Press. I was eventually given the sailing beat, a column on women's sports, and an occasional opportunity to write the locker room sidebar at college football games. Now keep in mind that that's ironic because I wasn't allowed in the locker room. But thanks to many fellow sports writers, some who are here, they shared their quotes with me, and many an SID brought athletes out to me. And another Virginia Sports Hall of Famer, Bob Moskowitz, taught me more about writing that I learned in 4 years of college, and while his red pen edits often brought me to tears, I learned so much from him. Unlike many of the other media members who've been inducted into the Hall for their outstanding long tenures as great writers or announcers, I lost interest in covering many teams because I did the big no-no. I started to cheer for some of them. I had an internship in the SID office during college at VMI, and I really loved that whole atmosphere. I landed an SID job at Siena College in Albany, and after 2.5 years, Dr. Jarrett and ODU came calling, and the rest, as they say, is history. I wore a lot of hats and had a lot of different titles during my tenure, but it all started in sports information. And alongside my trusted friend and longtime colleague, Carol Hudson, who's here, I built a career that gave me countless incredible moments and opportunities. I was witness to national championships, national upsets, All-American performances, the start and success of football, and the experience of a lifetime as a member of the media support team at the Winter Olympics in Sarajevo, Yugoslavia. We were also fortunate to host numerous NCAA championships during my tenure that exposed Old Dominion and the Hampton Roads region to national TV audiences, and I count those experiences among my favorite memories. I worked for only 2 athletic directors in 37 years, an incredible feat in today's transient world of collegiate athletics, and I would not be standing before you today without the leadership and guidance of Dr. Jim Jarrett, who never created a gender line. Along with Dr. Wood Seelig and the leadership of President John Broderick. In addition, I was fortunate to work with many local, regional, and national media members who helped tell the ODU story, and some who've become lifelong friends, one, in fact, who is a godfather to my oldest child. When I retired in 2016, I planned to end my days in college athletics, but the funny thing about retirement, sometimes you might not be just ready to retire. And so thanks to Commissioner Bernadette McGlade and the staff of the Atlantic 10 Conference, I've been able to continue to do what I love on a part-time basis. While I've mentioned several people who made it possible to have this incredible career, the people you live with every day make the difference. My father and mentor, Dick Harmison, along with my late mother, told me I could be whatever I wanted to be. My brother, Mark, his wife, Sally, my incredible husband, Steve, and our blended family of Kathleen, Phil, and Stephanie have all been my constant cheerleading squad and whose love and support are my lifeline. And a huge thanks to my friends and fellow staffers, Many of you are here tonight who have come from many, many miles away to be with me. I may not have been given the gift of athletic ability that I so longed for, but the wonder and love of sports that was instilled in me as a child has carried me on a journey that I would never have dreamed of. Congratulations again to my fellow inductees, and thank you, Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, for this incredible honor.
And now we meet our final inductee.
From 1985 to 2016, Tom Yeager served as the first and only commissioner of the Colonial Athletic Association. Over the course of 31 years, he established the conference as one of the nation's most successful, both athletically and academically. Yeager oversaw the conference during a time of expansion that transformed it from a regional entity focused in Virginia and North Carolina to one that extended its footprint up and down the East Coast. During his tenure, CAA teams produced 19 national team championships in 5 sports, 33 individual national champions, 16 National Coaches of the Year, and 17 National Players of the Year. The conference also boasts 5 Rhodes Scholar student athletes, 24 NCAA postgraduate scholars, and 13 Honda Award winners. Yeager's influence was not confined to just the CAA. He served in numerous roles on NCAA boards and committees, including the Committee on Academics, the Football Rules Committee, and serving as chair of the NCAA's Committee on Infractions. A graduate of Springfield College in Massachusetts, he was the longest tenured NCAA Division I commissioner at the time of his retirement.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome for induction into the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, the Commissioner, Tom Yeager.
Thank you. I guess I'd like to start by addressing the elephant in the room. UVA is playing again on Monday night. Yeah. Apparently they made some free throws with no time left on the clock. Wendy, I don't know how that worked, but congratulations, Heath. Your alma mater is still going on. I would like to thank the Honors Committee for recommending me for this incredible recognition. I truly am humbled beyond words. I'd also like to extend my congratulations to my fellow inductees. I'm honored to be in your company, and particularly with Wendy and Debbie. When I got the call, Eddie told us don't talk to anybody. I called Debbie. Because we were going. Cause I called her for Wendy's phone number, and the three of us had, a great opportunity to recount so many fond memories of a lot of March Madness that we spent together over the years with Wendy's teams. So many people to thank, the folks from Richmond that have traveled here tonight. Thank you for braving the tunnel. Which if you're from Richmond is, you think you need a passport to go through sometimes. My new bosses in retirement, Dan Schmidt from RMC Events is here, the guys with the yellow shirts. We're doing some work throughout the state, and we'll be back here in a couple weeks working Something in the Water Festival. So we're looking forward to that opportunity. To Dennis Bickmeyer, who is president of the Richmond Raceway, where I've been a senior executive intern for a number of years. Dennis sent me the best congratulatory note this the other day. He said, busy week from Hall of Famer to intern in 7 days. But enjoy it. And by the way, NASCAR is in Richmond next weekend, and there's plenty of tickets still available. Maybe I get a raise, I get an extra hot dog or something. So I'd also like to thank members of my incredible staff that many of who served a lot of years. Kathleen Batterson, Nikki DeSantis, Robert Goodman, and my sidekick, Ron Burdovich. They were, you often say that, and I have, that their hard work I received a lot of credit for. And just so you know, your pride and hard work and dedication inspired me and helped me to do what we all accomplished. And for that, I'd like to thank you and know that you share in this honor. Throughout the years, I received incredible support, as most of us all up here have, and pride from our family. A career in sports is pretty tough on a personal and family life in a lot of ways, but they were enthusiastic and with me every step of the journey. From the highest mountaintops to the darkest valleys, my career became their career. And they made countless sacrifices so that I could do the best job possible for my conference. At my retirement dinner, my daughter summed it up perfectly. The commissioner said we'd go to games dressed in our church clothes in the colors of neither team and never cheered. But I promised that we had a lot of fun. Yeah. It's my daughter Hallie and son Kyle. Thank you for all your love and support over the years that made all the travel and the missed events tolerable. What you two have accomplished is your mom's and mine greatest achievement. Also, most of you have met Graham already, my grandson, and Leah, who are here, his wife, wife Leah. And then finally, for my support of my wife of almost 42 years, Dorcas. I can guarantee you that, tonight wouldn't have happened, and many of the things that we accomplished wouldn't have happened. And, you were a constant kind of moral compass. You ran the house when I was constantly traveling. You always pushed me to find the right outcome. And you were always there when friends were usually headed for the exits. So it's our award, and thank you again. I think it's ironic that a Yankee from Pennsylvania who went to college in New England was a cop for the NCAA Enforcement Department in Kansas City. And contrary to the intro, I never scored a point, coached a game, won a race, is being inducted into the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. I grew up as a gym rat in the Allentown, Pennsylvania YMCA. Yeah, that's the same Allentown as Billy Joel's famous song. I enjoyed teaching the kids at the Y how to catch a pass, shoot a layup, hit a baseball, or learn how to swim. The magic in their eyes and watching their confidence grow and their personalities mature with each accomplishment really motivated me. I could see how sports really could impact kids' lives in a very positive way. With this belief, I attended Springfield College, which is affiliated with the YMCA, to become a professional teacher and to start my career. Through my years in NCAA enforcement, my core desire was to protect the integrity of the sport and fair competition. Dealing with the underside of the industry only made my belief in the positive values of sports grow. I witnessed incredible success stories and the tragic destruction of missed opportunities. My connection with the Colonial began back in my days at the NCAA. Apparently, one day I answered a random phone call from Hall of Famer and former University of Richmond AD Chuck Boone, who had an NCAA problem. I don't remember what the problem was, but for those of you who know Chuck, it had to be a doozy. Apparently, I helped him out because several years later, when the Colonial was formed, Chuck remembered me, and he, along with former JMU AD and Hall of Famer Dean Ehlers, hired me in the fall of 1985 to be the commissioner of the newly formed CAA. It was my dream. I was coming back east in the beautiful state of Virginia. I had always said I didn't want to be a mouthpiece for the mob, and I was lucky enough to find a group of universities and individuals who shared my same core belief about the value of education and how sports could provide access to that opportunity. I worked for and learned from an incredible group of leaders like Hall of Famers Chuck Boone, Dean Ehlers, ODU's Jim Jarrett, William Mary's Terry Driscoll, JMU's Jeff Bourne, who's here, VCU's Dick Sander, and former ACC Commissioner Gene Corrigan. You know, a group of thoughtful presidents who always placed athletics in their proper framework of their institutions and its educational mission. I took great pride in the privilege of representing the institutions, coaches, and students of the CAA for 31 years. It was more than a job, it actually was my being. Like I said before, I never scored a point, coached a game, or won a race. Most of my work was done far from the crowded stadiums in some nondescript, windowless meeting room at some airport hotel. You know, advocating for teams for NCAA championships, negotiating television deals, representing schools, coaches, and student athletes with eligibility issues, helping to formulate NCAA rules. That's what I thought I brought to the table. You know, and for the commissioner, you know, every day I had a team in first place and a team in last place. I worked with coaches who were receiving Coach of the Year awards and those who were about to be fired. Most of the games I attended, I had a winning locker room and a losing locker room, and I better know how to navigate both of them. You know, for my efforts, I was booed much more than I was cheered. You know, I worked for 10 to 12 institutions, presidents, athletic directors, coaches, all of whom rightly looked at the world through rose-colored glasses of their institution. My job was to collectively move them forward to new heights, while every Saturday we tried to beat the hell out of each other and we kept score and told everyone how we did. You know, my job was a constant mediation between parties that were often pointing in opposite directions. I had to have the credibility to bring a fair resolution, maintain peace at the same time, and joke that as long as I had the majority of the institutions, you know, supporting me, I had a job. And I guess I did okay because they kept me around for 31 years. You know, I am proudest of the championship experiences we created for the thousands of students who competed annually in the CA's 23 championship sports. I wanted the conference championship to be the highlight of a team's season, and we invested a great deal of resources, time, and effort to accomplish that goal. For most, the conference championship was likely their final organized competition. We were going to make sure that their journey that began as children in the gyms, fields, running trails, courts, pools, and weight rooms was going to end in a memorable fashion, regardless of the outcome. Now, without a doubt, the favorite part of my job was awarding the championship trophies on championship night. You know, I passed out 17 of them to the captains of Wendy's teams, a bunch more to Beth Anders and her teams. And once again, seeing the childlike magic in the eyes of the players and the coaches at achieving and fulfilling a lifelong dream of hard work, becoming a champion, and playing in the NCAA championship, you know, was just entirely visible and very apparent. You know, and that is what fueled me. So if you look closely tonight, the kid from the Allentown Y, my own eyes are dancing. with the same excitement at experiencing the same magic of this amazing recognition. And all I can say is thank you to all of you who have participated in this journey and supported us over the years. And God bless.